first race day vlog of 2017. Okay, we're all signed on, got my numbers on my back. This is just to keep me warm because it's quite cold this morning. So the format of the race today is a little bit different to your normal race. This is actually called a handicap race, which means, no, it's not horse racing. It basically means that different groups set off at different times based on ability. So it's pretty much like an open road race, but the first group to set off will be like the third cats and the women. Then the second group, which is 4 minutes behind that, is the second cat group. And then the group behind that, which is 4 minutes again. So 8 minutes behind the leaders is the elite group, or the group that I'm in. And before we can win the race, we've got to catch the other two groups on the road. It makes a good fun race for the first race of the season. And I am back home, and Jorja has gone home. It was pretty hectic since I got back from the race. We were slightly later home than I had planned to be, which meant Jorja nearly missed her train. So I had to rush over to Manchester, drop her off at the train station, drive home, and now I'm back, sat here in my office and breathe. So let's talk about the race. Let's talk about how the race panned out and how it went in general. So as I mentioned, it was a handicap format, which meant there was 3 separate groups. The weakest group set off first, 4 minutes behind that was the middle group, and then 4 minutes behind those was the scratch group, or the elite group, my group. So because our first goal was to catch the front groups, I thought the race was going to kick off from the gun, and it was going to be flat out racing from the start, and it really wasn't like that. I don't know whether because it's the first race of the season, no one wanted to do too much too soon, but the pace really was much easier than I thought it was going to be. So anyway, me and another guy ended up forming a short breakaway for about a lap, which is around 10 minutes, until we were slowly brought back in. A 2-man break doesn't usually work, and we knew that we weren't really going 100%. It was more of a way to entice the other riders to start racing a little bit harder. Anyway, we got about halfway through the race. We've been racing for about an hour and 20 minutes, and then we caught the middle group. I should say the middle group and some of the first group. The first group had the veterans category, and there was some pretty strong veterans, so they were a little bit harder to catch. So about 4/5 of the way through the race, we had, I think, 3 laps to go. We were just about to catch the leaders, and this is where my race turned to shit. Now this kind of is my fault, but it also kind of isn't. Pretty much what was happening, we were coming down the fast weaving descent. Let me show you this on a diagram. So this was the road. We'd come down and there's a sharp left turn. And obviously we were coming down here, and when we got to this corner, the corner was wet about there. So there was a tiny bit of dry on our side of the road, but you really had to cut the corner tight in order to stay on the dry part. The reason you didn't want to go onto the wet was because This was like a 35-mile-an-hour descent. A sharp right-hand turn, you would have just slid out on that corner. So basically we had to stick to the dry patch. Now the problem, about 3 laps to go, we were coming down here as we did every single lap, and this is where it's kind of my fault. I was badly positioned in the group. I was actually about 4th man from the back. Not because I was tired, it was just general bad positioning of that group. And then a car started approaching the other way, and it took this corner pretty wide. So basically the whole group got through on the dry patch of this corner, and us 4 guys at the back, when we were approaching it, the car came out wide. There was nowhere for us to go. We just had to carry on going in a straight line, but slam on the brakes and bring our speed right down before we made the turn. Then the eventuality of that, the 4 of us lost the wheel. The group just disappeared into the darkness, or not into the darkness, into the distance. The group disappeared into the distance, and for the last 3 laps I rode around that group of 4. There was around 16 riders in the lead group, 12 of which stayed together, us 4 off the back. I ended up coming in the front of that group, so I probably picked up about 13th. But despite those problems and the pretty dire result, the legs felt really good. I wasn't really uncomfortable the whole race. I felt strong, and I was just really excited to be back racing again. And as they say, the only way is up. So the last and final thing that I'm doing today, it's getting dark and I've got to walk back through the woods. I hope the footage from racing was good. I've not yet had a look at it. All that filming was done by my 12-year-old sister, so I think she'll have done a good job. I think so. Anyway, thanks for watching today's vlog. If you could drop a like on this video, I would really appreciate it. And as always, I'll see you tomorrow.